Approximately 6% of persons have the ability to vibrate and shake their heads vigorously. It doesn't necessarily imply that something is wrong. It's just a matter of their eyes not being in the appropriate place. They have a one-of-a-kind trick that they can master. I assume there will be parties. Your bones were made to be utilized frequently, daily, and some of them are capable of absorbing 2 or more. That's even 3 times your body weight. Your teeth, however, are even more remarkable. When you bite something, it becomes stronger. The pressure exerted by teeth can reach amazing heights. By the way, the enamel is made, it can weigh up to 200 pounds. It's thought to be a component of your skeleton system. Your stomach has a remarkable capacity, being able to hold up to half a ton. A quart of liquid, a large bottle of. It's difficult to predict how much cocaine will be consumed. How much hard stuff you can cram into your stomach. Since the meal is digested in the stomach, before it gets inside your teeth, there isn't enough room for a turkey. However, a large chicken will most likely be successful. It's appropriate. When you rotate your hand, the bones in your hand rotate as well. It actually intersects on the inside, so have a look. Yes, it's not really beneficial to hold something in your hand and verify it. Now, if you're willing, show me where your stomach is. Sorry, but you're pointing at your stomach. It's not right, it's up here, concealed between the trees. Your ribcage. A fun fact about bones: did you know that your bones are made up of collagen and elastin? What's new is that the body is around 60% water. It's also worth noting that your bones are included in this. About a quarter of a person's bone mass is made up of cartilage, a body of water. The appendix, according to scientists. Nobody really knows if it's here to stay or not. We don't know why we require it, but some researchers believe we do. Argue that it aided our forefathers in their processing. They were eating the tree bark because it was tasty. The is no longer a part of our regular diet. Our appendixes have the ability to vanish from our bodies without any repercussions. The human eye bears some resemblance to the eye of a bird. Both a vehicle engine and a motorcycle engine require a variety of resources. Liquids are required for an engine to function effectively. A car needs gasoline, and an eye requires tears. Tears must be cleaned in order to function properly. Extensively dispersed throughout the eye. This is why we blink up to 20,000 times every second. Day. As a result, a lid acts as a windshield washer. Almost every inch of our bodies is covered in it. Even if we don't detect them, hairs exist. Their growth extends even to the abdominal button. The only use is to catch lint, a part of the human body that does not receive any nutrition. The cornea of the eye receives nutrients from the blood. Tears, on the other hand, nourish the eye. In the front of your eyes, there's a lot of fluid. If you were unaware that you had a personal assistant, look deeper, your liver is your guardian. You are being protected by a security guard. Toxins and a slew of other stuff you're not aware of. It's also attractive if you want to have it. Indestructible, with the ability to regenerate. When you blush, it's a sign that something is wrong. Increased blood flow in your body is not the same as increased blood flow in your brain. Not only do your cheeks turn a little red, but also your stomach lining. It's because there's a lot of blood in it. When there's a lot of blood in the vessels, and when there's a lot of blood in it usually turns crimson. Only around 43% of you are true believers. You're a small little critter with a population of over 50. That dwell primarily in your stomach and other, without ever allowing it to be still. Despite the fact that your own cells are dwindling. On average, there are more microbial ones than microbial ones. Let's say there are 100 trillion of them in you. You begin counting them. Every year, the lining of your stomach is replaced. That's done in 3 to 4 days to put an end to it. It keeps the digestive system from digesting itself. The acids we have can be rather harmful. One item that unquestionably rests while you're away. You won't be able to sleep if you have a nose. If you smell something bad in your sleep, it's time to wake up. The problem is that your sense of smell is impaired. Basically, if you don't use it throughout the day, it will deactivate at night. There's a really bad odor in here. You won't even be harassed in your bedroom. We can inadvertently eat little items. Objects made of plastic, glass, coins, and they pass several more little objects on their way to their destination within the gastrointestinal tract. Just trust me on this for the next 48 hours. 1. You have more important things to do. Scientists once thought we could be able to. Nope, I can't identify approximately 10,000 different fragrances. According to current studies, people are ability to differentiate over 1 trillion objects. We recall odors better than we remember words. Anything else, even fragrances, can elicit an emotional response. A few recollections. Plastic can be digested in small amounts. However, the human digestive system is incapable of doing so. Grazing animals that graze on grass are called bears. Unique teeth, and a number of stomachs. We thoroughly treat raw leaves and grass. I don't have any of it, but I don't mind. Only humans have the ability to be terrible among mammals. Keep walking on 2 hind limbs. You would think they'll keep this posture for the rest of their lives. Kangaroo or gorilla moving object. The roos, on the other hand, use their. Gorillas use their tail as a 3rd leg. To preserve their equilibrium, they use their lengthy arms. The stomach is the most essential organ in the body. The immune system's defender. Our stomach acid, hydrochloric acid, kills us. Foodborne pathogens, poisons, and viruses. Microorganisms that are brought in by the food. If you eat this acid, you can digest even the toughest foods. Not the stomach, but the mucous membrane. Safeguards it. Body fat isn't simply an annoyance, it can also be dangerous. As a material for insulation and energy storage, your body acts as a shock absorber and sends because the majority of fat is deposited in your waist region. If you're not sure, that's where your inside organs reside. Something happens to you and this layer of protection is removed. Fat may also serve to protect your important organs from irreversible harm. We have 2 really fast muscles. Controlling the shutting of your eyelids is one of the most important things you can do. Our eyes are the fastest muscles in our bodies. Because they are fragile and require protection, these are triggered when the reflex is aroused. Within 100 milliseconds, muscles close the eyes. Milliseconds, which is less than 0.1 second, we exclusively recognize purple-blue. Colors of green, yellow, and yellow-red. Everything else is a mix of the 2. It's difficult to calculate these 3. How many of these combinations does a human being have? Because everyone has a tiny difference in height, BICs. There are some visual variances, but it's just approximately 1%. On average, there are 1 million different combinations. Even if you clean your teeth twice a day, you'll see a difference. Every day, and don't forget to use mouthwash. Your mouth is still one of the most important parts of your body. Elements of the human body that are the filthy too. It is home to millions of germs. The good news is that most of these germs are harmless, are beneficial to the body and provide protection. Bacteria and viruses that cause illness. The belly is the 2nd dirtiest part of the body. It's most likely due to the fact that it's the first place that is overlooked is where we are. After we're born, we don't really use them. As a result, everything ends up in this desolate spot. Bacteria, perspiration, and dirt in the stomach. There are around 2,300 bacterial species in the button. It does, however, necessitate additional attention. You believe you owe your firm handshake to all of your strength training sessions. It's more likely that you owe it to your parents. Just kidding, but a pinky is a girl's name. This unassuming man has the strongest finger out there. 50% of the work is done by the finger. Your hamstring muscles. The thumb is still the most commonly utilized finger. It has 40% of the market to itself. It's probably because of the hand's motion. Also the most crucial factor. Your toes are 2 more unassuming assistants. It carries around 40% of your weight. If you've ever heard that people have a lot of weight, you're not alone. They don't actually need their toes. They're also the main pushers, believe it or not. When you're walking, tomatoes have a greater number of genes than humans. This, however, should not be a source of anxiety for you, since it isn't the quantity of genes that matters. That is important, but the complexity of their situation is perhaps more so. Connections. Nails are useful for more than just catching stray objects, and if necessary, peel off the stickers, against which there was no hard structure. You wouldn't know which button to press if you didn't know which one to press. Determining how strongly to hold something. Our hair color can be explained in a number of ways. There are no more than 2 pairs of genes % of people who are naturally red. They're followed by a slew of blondes. 3%, as well as all the different kinds of brown colors account for only around 11% of the total. The majority of the money goes to black hair, as well as very dark brown. Yes, your hair can stop growing at a certain point. Hair normally grows to a specific length. It normally does not take more than 2 to 7 years. More than 42 inches. Music. Please explain it to this Chinese lady. Who was the first to break all the hair records with the... Her hair was the longest it had ever been in 2004. 18 feet 5 feet 5 feet 5 feet 5 feet. Where have you been, Rapunzel? Think about something when we chuckle. Make a dream move or engage in any other action. Little electrical and electronic devices in our bodies. Chemical messages are sent between neurons. Our brain is connected to those connections. Active at all times, sometimes even more so when we're sleeping, we're more relaxed than when we're awake, and as a result, neurons produce and send more signals. More data than all of the phones in the world. The entire world. You're outside, sitting somewhere, and then, if an insect falls on your leg, your skin will get inflamed. Sensory neurons convey messages fast. The message sent to your brain at a certain point in time. 150 miles per hour is an impressive speed. The message is returned to your brain by the brain leg to shake the fly off quickly as possible, as well as the rate at which information moves is much faster, with a top speed of 200 miles per hour. Toenails are now growing at a rate of 4 times their original size. This is slower than your fingernails. This occurs as a result of the fact that we do more things with it. Our hands are smaller than our feet, which explains why our fingernails are more traumatized as a result of our actions. There's a good chance your situation has changed. The right hand has a variety of functions. This happens because the right one has more germs than the left one. Because they cover our entire bodies from top to toe. Our toes and their variety are dependent on us. Thickness of the skin, temperature of humidity, texture and chemistry, both of which are subject to alter as we alternate between using our right and left hands in various ways. Keratin is a protein found in our nails and hair, which is a substance that can be found in a variety of places, as well as the bodily components of other animals. Claws, hooves, horns, and wool pelt, for example. Beaks, feathers, turtle shells, and quilts made by porcupines. Our bodies are formed up entirely of stardust. Our body's most sophisticated elements can. Supernovas are the only way for the universe to exist. The early stars were nothing more than gassy blobs. Were spliced together, and at one point, this started the combustion process. Eventually resulted in a nuclear reaction in its vicinity. Center. Stars who were present immediately following the huge bang was more than 50 times the size of the Big Bang. There was a time when our sun was inside of them. A continuous process of creation. Elements, as well as those massive stars. Their fuel is burned at a higher rate. The majority of the components in the human body. Billions of years ago, billions of years ago, billions of years ago, billions of years ago. A number of years, so you could argue that portion of you is immortal, which is really wonderful.